much. But like I said, you really do pack it down, and I want to plant these 3 plants in here. So the very first thing you want to do, when you get your soil into your container, is kind of mush it around evenly. Then you're going to figure out where your plants go. So I'm going to do this on the edge because I want it to kind of like trail over. And then I think this is going to be like a tree in the fairy garden. And this will just be like a little shrub next to it. So this one I'm going to plant a little higher because I kind of want it to be a tall element in the garden, like a little tree. So I'm going to put it kind of up high in the middle here. And literally, this is what I was talking about. You smoosh it down. Oops. Smoosh it down and pack it nice and tight. And this also, this technique of really packing it tightly, it helps when you pick it up and move it to bring it home. It's like not going to explode apart because it's not packed tightly enough together. So this really keeps the whole sculpture together. And I'm calling it a sculpture even though it's a garden because we're sculpting with dirt. So you see how I'm shaping it almost like a potter would work with clay almost. And so this is the next plant. And when you have a shallow container and a deep root ball, the only thing you need to do is just knock a little of the dirt out so that you can get the roots to be a little bit shorter. So for example, it was this deep, now it's this deep. See what I did? So here's a little shrub, and that's going to go a little down a little bit lower in this little landscape. And even though I smooshed the dirt there, I'm kind of unsmooshing it to get this guy in. And then I'm just going to push him into this little hillside and pack the dirt next to it. You don't want to really push on the roots very much because you could damage your plant, but you want to kind of push around it. So, making this nice and firm over here. And I think my theme is kind of a Thanksgiving harvest theme because I have a little table and chairs, a mailbox because the fairy's going to be sending out holiday goodies and mail, a little picnic basket, and cowboy boots because I love cowboy boots. So, okay, so here's another one. So I'm going to shorten these roots a little. And since I'm planting it all the way over at this edge, they need to be a little bit shorter than what I did there. But you can see they're very fine roots. You can hardly even see them actually. So anyway, here. I see them now. You don't really want to pull them off. You just want to kind of knock some of the dirt off. Okay, that's good. See how much shorter that guy is now? So then and you want soil under it so it grows. Tucking that into the little hillside. And this dirt, the soil in the can is a little bit moister than the soil I just knocked off of this plant. So it's easier to shape with. You know what I mean? It's easier to kind of pack it together like clay. So I'm pushing down kind of next to it to get it to stay in place. And then hopefully this will go that way and it'll trail over the edge. And with succulents, you can plant a little piece that breaks off and it'll grow. We'll put that back in there. Okay, so now I'm going to push the whole thing down. Get rid of some of this extra that fell off of it. And now I want to make a little flat area for her table and chairs. my fairy is a girl fairy. She's a lady. So here comes like a little patio. See how I'm kind of shaping it? And then this is just a little side yard. And we'll put something here. Maybe a teeny bit of that mossy stuff can go there. And right here, we will put these flat stones. Push them in, make a little patio. The flatter the better when you're trying to make a patio out of stones. And then around these stones, I'm going to add maybe some sand. I'm going to pick the same color sand as the stones I picked out. Just because I'm a designer and we work that way. You guys can design it however you like. Okay, so now I'm trying to just get a nice and flat. So when I put the little table and chairs, they stay. Well, they're not really staying, but we'll figure it out. This is very improvisational, making fairy gardens. You can plan it all you want, but once you start making it, you just have to let your imagination help it to take shape. And trust that it's going to be awesome no matter what. Because it will. So here's our little flat patio. Now, what else do we want? How's about maybe a little pathway of these kind of pebbles? So the fairy can go from, let's see, she can go from her mailbox, which will be here. Actually, her mailbox will be over here because it's taller. We'll rock this, the mailbox. See what I mean? How you can prop things up with a little extra landscape element. And I'm going to press it in. Test it to make sure it's sturdy. Okay, so now maybe we'll do a little path in the mailbox. Sunflower area. Down. Pathway stones. This way. And there are little, I think there are little paths, thingies in the fairy garden shop inside, like little walkway stones. You could use rocks. You can cut like a little branch into slices. Have a little skill saw. Okay, so we have a little path. Goes across the yard. And see how I'm pressing on it? So then when you move it around, it's not really going to explode apart. You want it to stay where you put it. So far, so good. Okay, I'm going to grab a little tiny piece of moss. We don't have a ton of moss today, so I'm trying not to use a lot of it. But it really does make the garden look pretty, and it's natural element, so it looks very organic.
Is that alive or dead?
It was alive, but it's dry, but it was growing, but I think it...
I've had moss in my garage for like 2 years and it still looks like
bright.
It's shocking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it comes in those packages.
I'm going to use it. Remember I made this little slope over here, so I'm going to use it to decorate the slope. So I'm kind of cutting it, tearing it into strips.
And it'll kind of revive once it gets in there?
When it gets wet, it kind of will...
Revive?
It'll not revive, it won't start growing, but it'll help take the shape of the garden. So it's another kind of sculptural tool that you can use to hold all the dirt together. See how it kind of is, it really is like holding this side of the garden together. And once it's watered, it'll be even more mushed. Yeah, so you can play with it more.
But it's not alive once you water it, right?
I don't think it'll come to life. But all of these elements will come to life. You know, you'll probably water, if you use mostly succulents in your fairy garden, you want to water it maybe once a week. And water it gently so that all your decorative elements don't slow apart. I think I'm going to keep going over this side. Come on. Just because I like the way it looks. Sorry, I get a little bit allergic from the potty soil lying up in my face. I'm going to put a little more sand because do you see how right here and right here the dirt is still showing? I kind of want that to just disappear and become, you know, this whole area to become the patio. So I'm going to use a little bit more of this. That's too much. Just so it's like one surface. I'm not sure about the flatness of my stones, but the table can go there. This little chair can go disappear. There. So they're kind of like footrests. Right? Okay. So then, cowboy boots. Fairy had to take them off to rest her feet. Those go there. And so then maybe this picnic basket goes here. We're having some snacks. And the blueberry pie still in the basket. Cherry pie is being enjoyed. There's some wine and beer. Chocolate milk in there.
This is fun.
But everyone needs wine, beer, and chocolate milk. And I think I might make a little stream right here, a tiny little water feature.
Oh, you already have blue stuff, so we don't need to get separate stuff. You can use yours.
You can use this.
Oh, cool.
And then, yeah, if you want to, you can take home some extra. So eventually this greenery will fill out right here, so I'm not going to go too crazy with the blue. But the blue will just be right here, like as if there's a little stream that's fed underground over here. And if you kind of, I see how I made a teeny mistake with the black. You can kind of just mush it around and the black will disappear. See how it goes away? So if you make a little mistake, you can easily fix it. Okay, so we got that going. That. And what else do we need? Maybe just a teensy bit more moss right here. And they'll fix the path a little bit over here, and then I think we're good. What do you guys think?
So cute.
Yeah.
It's cute. I love little gardens like this.
What happens when the plant elements start growing? Do we trim it? What do we do?
It depends.
Oh, okay.
Because like this garden will probably stay looking just about this way for maybe 7, 8, 9 months. And then once they start getting bigger and bigger, you can refurbish it. You can, you know, you can make another garden. You can take everything out. I'm always refurbishing my little gardens. So I just redid one that was completely grown over, but that took 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So you do have a lot of time to enjoy it the way it looks, the way you create it today, before it, you know, starts growing and looking different. But they stay pretty much how you make them for a good long time, and then you just fix it up a little. You know, maybe a plant gets a little frostbitten on a cold winter night, or a plant that doesn't like the hot part of the summer might keel over. You can just take it out and get a new little plant to replace it. Okay, so I think just moss right here, and then we've got our little picnic garden.
It comes with all
And then
that
now
stuff
we're going to help you make your own garden. What do you think about that?
What do you think about that?
Are you excited?
Kind of like your playhouse.
So one thing I always try and kind of think of when I'm starting a new garden is what the theme is. But you don't have to have a theme. You can just make it like a little garden with a little patio. It doesn't have to. But it is kind of fun. Like they have like chickens in there and farm stand vegetables, and there's all sorts of ways you could go with it. I made a clothesline before, little miniature clothesline. So it was like kind of like household chore garden because I'm a housewife. This is a picnic garden.